Naoya Inoue's entrance into professional boxing was anything but conventional. Born in Zama, Kanagawa, Japan, he came into the sport carrying not just the weight of national expectations, but also the pressure of his own lofty goals. From the time he began training under his father, Shingo Inoue, the path forward was one marked by extreme discipline, obsessive perfectionism, and a vision of excellence. When he stepped into the professional ring for the first time at just 19 years old in 2012, it wasn't to face an unknown journeyman or a hand-picked debut opponent. It was against Cristiano Inoue, a tough and seasoned Filipino fighter who had more fights and more experience. But from the opening bell, it became clear that Naoya wasn't just debuting, he was announcing his future. The way he moved in that fight, calm, focused, and eerily precise, gave fans and analysts alike a preview of the chaos he would soon bring to the division. Inoue wasted no time establishing his jab and landing clean, straight punches that immediately disrupted Omayau's rhythm. By the time the fourth round arrived, Inoue delivered a left hook to the liver that crumpled his opponent. It wasn't just the punch that stunned the crowd. It was the methodical way Inoue set it up, calculated his distance, and executed the knockout like he had done it 1,000 times in the gym. This was not a teenager learning on the job. This was a cold, calculating technician announcing himself to the world. From that moment on, Inoue's career became a symphony of destruction. But unlike other punchers who rely purely on brute force, Inoue combined brutal power with sublime technique. He didn't just knock people out, he took them, apart like a master craftsman dismantling a machine. When he faced Adrian Hernandez, the reigning WBC light flyweight champion, in only his 6th professional bout, the world expected the young Inoue to meet resistance. Instead, Hernandez was overwhelmed. Inoue's combinations were clean and fast, and he attacked with the precision of a fighter who seemed to know exactly what punch would land before he threw it. By the 6th round, Hernandez had absorbed enough punishment, and Inoue walked away with his first world title. But even that wasn't the full scope of Inoue's ambition. Unlike many champions who defend a belt repeatedly within a comfort zone, Inoue chased greatness by jumping divisions. And each time he moved up in weight, there was speculation. Maybe this is the limit of his power. Maybe the knockouts won't come this time. But every time, those doubts were silenced in a violent fashion. In 2014, he moved up 2 weight classes to face long-reigning Argentine champion Omar Narvaez for the WBO super flyweight title. Narvaez had never been knocked out, had fought in multiple championship bouts, and was considered one of the more durable fighters in the sport. Inoue dropped him twice in the first round, finishing the fight with a vicious left hook in the second. The performance stunned fans. Inoue had once again proven that his punching power wasn't limited by size. It was magnified by timing, by precision, by knowing exactly where to hit. What made Inoue's knockouts particularly terrifying was their efficiency. He didn't need to throw wild haymakers. His punches came straight down the middle, his hooks were compact, and his footwork always placed him in the optimal position to generate power. That level of economy made him not just a knockout artist, but an assassin. His next run of fights included brutal finishes of Warlito Paredes, Karun Jarupianlerd, and Ricardo Rodriguez, each one dismantled with body shots, counters, and left hooks that often didn't look powerful until his opponent fell. In 2017, Inoue faced Antonio Nieves, a tough American fighter who entered the ring confident and composed. But from the first exchange, Inoue's pressure was suffocating. He cut off the ring expertly, baited Nieves into opening up, and punished every mistake. After repeated body shots, Nieves didn't answer the bell for the 7th round. It was another victory, another body on the list, another fight where Inoue never lost control for a single second. He followed that with a ruthless victory over Yohan Boyo. The Frenchman tried to show aggression early, perhaps hoping to surprise Inoue, but within a minute he was on the canvas. Inoue's timing and accuracy once again proved too much. Each round felt more like a formality until Boyo was finally stopped in the 3rd. It wasn't just dominance, it was systematic destruction. What truly cemented Inoue's global reputation as a knockout machine came in the World Boxing Super Series, WBSS. He was already a two-division champion and widely respected, but the tournament brought together the best bantamweights in the world, and many wondered whether he would maintain his knockout streak against truly elite competition. His first opponent in the WBSS was Juan Carlos Payano, a former world champion known for being tough, awkward, and durable. But when the bell rang, Inoue advanced with terrifying calm, threw a single 1-2 combination, and Payano was unconscious before he hit the canvas. The fight lasted 70 seconds. Payano had never been knocked out before. Inoue had ended it with 2 punches. It wasn't just a win, it was a statement. The tournament had only just begun, and already the man to beat was obvious. In the semifinals, Inoue faced IBF champion Emmanuel Rodriguez. This time, the pre-fight talk was louder. Rodriguez's team was vocal and even confrontational. At the weigh-in, Rodriguez's coach shoved Shingo Inoue, a disrespectful act that didn't sit well with Naoya. But he didn't retaliate with words. He let his gloves do the talking. Rodriguez actually started strong in the first round, using angles and counters effectively. But Inoue adjusted. In the second round, he began targeting the body with surgical precision. A left hook to the liver dropped Rodriguez, then another, then another. Within one round, Rodriguez had gone from confident champion to broken shell. Inoue had scored 3 knockdowns in a single round, and the fight was over. In just 2 rounds, Inoue unified titles, exacted revenge for his father, and added another spectacular finish to his resume. The WBSS final was against the Filipino legend Nonito Donaire, a 4-division world champion and one of the most respected figures in the sport. This time, Inoue didn't get the early knockout. Instead, fans were treated to a 12-round war that tested both fighters to their limits. Inoue suffered a fractured orbital bone and a cut above his eye. Donaire had his moments, but Inoue's power and resilience ultimately wore him down. In the 11th round, Inoue landed a body shot that sent Donaire staggering across the ring, forced to a knee, nearly unable to rise. Though Donaire survived the round, the fight was clearly won by Inoue. It didn't end in a knockout, but it became one of the most iconic performances in recent boxing history. Inoue had shown that he could go to war and come out victorious. After that fight, Inoue continued his tear through the division. He stopped Jason Maloney in 7 rounds, breaking him down with stiff jabs and devastating right hands. Then came Michael Dasmariñas, who suffered a merciless body attack and was dropped 3 times before the referee stepped in. Each performance reaffirmed that Inoue's power wasn't diminished by wear or time. It was growing more refined. Perhaps his most defining knockout in recent memory came against Paul Butler, the British champion who held the final belt Inoue needed to become the undisputed bantamweight champion of the world. Butler entered the fight with a game plan: survive. From the beginning, he focused on defense, raising a high guard, moving backward, and offering little offense. Inoue, in contrast, stalked him like a lion. He showed off a dazzling array of skills: foot feints, slick upper body movement, taunting gestures reminiscent of Ali and Roy Jones Jr., and an offensive arsenal that included liver hooks, uppercuts, and looping rights. Butler, to his credit, survived for 11 rounds. But he never once threatened Inoue. He didn't throw with intent. He didn't try to win. And eventually, Inoue ended the charade. In round 11, he unleashed a right hand that landed flush, followed by a sweeping left that collapsed Butler instantly. The referee didn't need to count. It was over. Inoue was now the undisputed bantamweight champion, and he had done it with the flair, skill, and firepower that fans had come to expect. That victory led to another move up in weight. And again, the doubts surfaced. Could Inoue carry his power to 122 pounds? Would he still dominate? When he faced Stephen Fulton, an undefeated American champion known for slick defense and intelligent movement, many expected a close fight. Instead, Inoue overwhelmed Fulton with speed, timing, and power. The punches came from everywhere: sharp jabs, snapping hooks, and vicious combinations. By the 8th round, Inoue landed a massive right hand that hurt Fulton badly, followed by a left hook that sealed the deal. The referee stepped in, And once again, the world had its answer. Yes, Inoue's power was alive and well at super bantamweight. Each knockout in Inoue's career tells a different story. Some are clinical, some are brutal, but all share one common thread, an eerie sense of inevitability. When Inoue fights, it never feels like a question of if he'll get the knockout, but when. He dissects his opponents with the patience of a surgeon and the explosiveness of a predator. His ring IQ is second to none. He knows how to feint, when to shift angles, and how to manipulate distance. He's not just physically gifted, he's intellectually elite inside the ring, and perhaps that's what makes him so terrifying. There are plenty of hard punchers in boxing. There are plenty of fast fighters and plenty with good technique. But Inoue brings all those things together with a mind that sees patterns before they emerge and a discipline honed over a lifetime. He doesn't waste punches. He doesn't take unnecessary risks. He controls fights not just with his fists, but with his presence. When he walks toward his opponent, he brings pressure without throwing a punch. When he throws with purpose. Naoya Inoue isn't just knocking people out. He's redefining how knockouts happen. He's a throwback to an era of disciplined, dangerous fighters, but also a vision of the sport's future. Precision, power, intelligence, ruthlessness. These aren't just qualities he possesses. They are principles he lives by in the ring. Opponents no longer ask whether they can beat him. They ask whether they can survive. Trainers design strategies not to win but to last. And fans, whether in Japan, the United States, or anywhere else in the world, tune in not to see who wins, but to witness the artistry of destruction. Naoya Inoue's career is a living testament to the beauty of violence when crafted by a master. Every opponent who stands across from him enters a ring of silence and leaves with the echoes of punishment. They don't just lose. They're unraveled, broken down, and rebuilt into cautionary tales for the next challenger. Inoue doesn't talk much. He doesn't boast. But when the gloves are on, when the lights go down and the bell rings, he speaks in punches, and his language is absolute.